Question number 1. So we're just going to go over the 3 sections that we covered, the 3 or 4, I think 3 sections. 4, I can't remember how many in chapter 4, and do a review on them. We have these 2 equations, x plus 2y equals 5. Let me know if I need to write it bigger, or can you see it? 5x minus y equals negative 8. And the question, they're giving us 3 points. Can you see that? Should I make it bigger? It's fine, everyone? Good. Which one of these points is a solution? Is 5 comma 0 a solution? Is negative 1 comma 3 a solution? And is 1 comma negative 3 a solution? That's what the question is. Which one of these is a solution? Well, to find out if the point is a solution or not, let's see if this marker works. Plug it in. Plug it into both equations. So if I go to the top equation, I plug in the 5 for x and the 0 for y, I'll have 5 plus 2 times 0. Does that equal to 5? Yep. That's a yes. It has to be yes to both of them. Let's try the second point. The second point is this one. 5 times x, which is 5, minus y, which is 0. Is that a negative 8? No. No. So is this point a solution? No. That's a no. Let's try the minus 1 and 3. Again, replace x with minus 1, replace y with 3. X is minus 1. Minus 1 plus y is 3. 2 times 3, is that equal to 5? Mm-hmm. Yes, that's minus 1 plus 6, that's a 5. Let's try the second equation. X is minus 1. 5 times a minus 1 minus y, which is 3. Is that equal to negative 8? What's 5 times a minus 1? Negative 5 minus 3? Negative 8. That is a yes. So it's a yes and a yes. That means that point is a solution. It has to be yes to both. And let's try the last one. When x is 1, that's 5 times 1 minus and negative, there's nothing wrong with that, but I always start with the first point, with the first equation, and I start with the second one. So let me start with the first one first. It is correct, I want to stay consistent. Let me start with the first equation, so I don't change them. With the top one, x is 1 plus 2 times a negative 3. Is that a 5? No. No. Once one of them fails, don't even waste your time on the other one, because it has to be yes and yes. So which one's the solution? This one. That was question 1. Now, question number 2, they're giving us the graph, and they said, what is the solution? Here's question number 2. You are given the graph. Let me look at the picture. It looks something like this. And one of the lines looks like this. One of the pictures or the graphs, when you graph it, it looks like this. And the other one looks like this. And the question, based on that picture, what is the solution? Yep. What is the solution? That's what the question. So let's find always the x first, y second. The x value is right here, which is where? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4, comma. What's the y value? That's up and down.
0.
0. The solution is 4, comma 0. So we are giving you the graph, and we asking for the solution. Normally, you're going to be given equations like these, ask you to graph them, find the solution. That's what we're going to do next.
Is that what they mean when the lines intersect?
Yep.
Damn.
The next two questions we're going to solve graphically. So we have to graph them and find the solution. Everyone's good with this?
No, we're good.
Good. Question number 3. You are given x plus y. This marker is not good. X plus y equals -2, and y equals x plus 4. And they want us to solve it graphically. Solve that graphically. Let me make my axes here right now. Definitely the blue's dead there. And I'm going to graph these. I'll grab the first one, the first equation, which is x plus y equals -2. And if I'm going to graph that, I'm probably going to choose the x and the y-intercept. As I said before, I'm a fan of this method when I have x and y on the same side. So x and y-intercept. To find the x-intercept, what do?
Substitute y.
So the x-intercept, we let y be 0.
This is where I had a lot.
And if you let y be 0, what are you going to have? That means the y term is gone. X equals what?
-2.
-2. So the point is -2 comma 0. And to get the y-intercept, we let x be 0. If you let x be 0, the x term is gone. Y equals what? -2. So notice x is 0, y is -2. These are the 2 points. That's all I need. -2 comma 0, that's this point. 0 comma -2, that's that one. Let's connect. So that's that equation. This is x plus y equals -2. That's the line of it. Let me graph the other one now. The other one is what?
Y-intercept.
Y equals x plus 4. Since you have y equals, I'm probably choose values for x and find the y value. I'll use 0, I'll use 1, that's plenty. I can pick 3 points, 2 to be on the safe side. When x is 0, what's the y value? 0 plus 4, which is what? 4, yes. When x is 1, plug it in. That's 1 plus 4, which is 5. When x is 2, that's what? 2 plus 4, which is 6. So 0, 4. X is 0, y is 4. That's right here. X is 1, y is 5. Right here. x is 2, y is 6, right here. And when you connect these 3 points, notice they make a straight line. This is y equals x plus 4. What's my solution? My solution, I gotta come up first with the x value. This is the x value right here,
-3.
which is -3. And what's the y value? 1. So where they cross each other at -3, comma 1. X is always first, y is always second. That's the solution. That's where they cross each other.
I don't get it.
Huh?
I've been having a lot of trouble with this.
You got it now or no?
Every time I think I do, it throws a problem. It just flips it.
We have another one coming up. Let's test it. Let's make sure that that point is a solution. If you plug it into this, should be a yes. If you plug into this, should be a yes. Let's try it. Is -3 plus 1 equal to -2?
Yep.
Yes. Is y is what? 1. Is 1 equal to -3 plus 4? Yes. It's a yes and a yes. The answer is yes. That is a solution. So you always plug them back. You take your answer, replace x with -3, replace y with 1, and see if you have a yes to the first equation. That's a solution. Yes to the second one. Let's look at the next question, very similar to this, but with a little twist in it. As Jamie said, sometimes when I think I got it, they put something in it. So let's try this one. Let me just set my axes already here. And again, solve graphically. The first one, x plus 2y equals to 1. The other one, y equals 2. Let's do the x plus 2y equals 1. Again, since x and y on the same side, x-intercept, y-intercept. X-intercept, you let y be 0. The y-intercept, you let x be 0. Let y be 0. When you let y be 0, this piece is gone. So what do we have?
X equals 1.
X equals to 1. So that's the first point. 1 comma 0. 1, 0 is right here. Now, the y-intercept, you let x be 0. That means that term is gone. So we'll have what? 2y equals what? 1. Y equals 1/2. That's 0 comma 1/2. Zero comma 1/2. Let's graph that. X is 0, y is 1/2. Now let me connect the 2 points. It looks like this. Now let's look at the other equation. The other equation says what? Y equals to 2. How do you graph y equals to 2?
Horizontal line.
Horizontal line, it goes through the 2. This is y equals to 2. So what's the solution? What's this? When you solve this, what's the answer?
-2, 2.
-1, -2, negative what?
3, 2.
-3, comma, 2. That's the solution. So my solution, and that's where they cross each other, is at -3, comma, 2. Again, you want to make sure this is correct. Test it. Is, replace x with -3, is -3 plus 2 times 2, does that equal to 1?
Yes.
Yes. Let's test the second equation. Let y be 2. Is 2 equals to 2? Yes. Since you have a yes and a yes, your answer, yes, that is a solution. So that's how we solve the problem graphically.
About the 1/2,
Yes.
if you were to have a question like that on the homework, there's no, it doesn't
Correct.
let you put it into
Correct.
the graph.
So what you do in a case like this, you pick a different point. For example, you try to make that number even. You go, well, you know what? Let me work the problem backward. Let me try y equals to 1. If you let y equals to 1, what's 2 times 1? 2. When you take it to that side, becomes a -2. So I can use x equals 1. So you can work the problem. The question here, if you go to graph, there is no 1/2 on the graph. So you're really in trouble. So what do? You can actually, if that's the case, you know, I can't do the 1/2. What can I do? I said pick a value for x, pick a value for y. I already use x equals to 1 here. I can't use that point. What will happen if I let x equals, for example, 2? That's still a fraction. But what about if x is an odd number, like a 3? If I let x equals 3, you're going to have what? 3 plus 2y equals 1. Take the 3 to that side, becomes a negative, right? What is 1 minus 3? -2. What is y equal to? -1. So 3 comma -1. So you could have done it that way too. You go 1, 2, 3, and -1, which is right here. So if you end up with a fraction where math lab says you can't actually put a fraction there, then pick a value for x, and hopefully that will give you a whole number for an answer. As I said last week, graphing is not really the best way of solving them. So what's the other choice? Well, you can use the substitution method and you can use the elimination method. That's what we did after we did the graph. So let's look at the substitution method, the next few problems. So the next two is solved by, it really doesn't say what method to use. Let's be smart and see which method will be the logical one to use here. Or maybe I'll force you to use substitution in one and elimination on the other one, so you get to practice. X minus 2y equals -4. Some of you are going to have a preference and you're going to try to stick with that. Oops, sorry, 4y, not 4x. y equals 2x plus 8. I'm going to solve this by substitution just to force you to practice. So solve by substitution. Maybe I'll do it both ways. To solve by substitution, step number 1, solve for one of the variables. Solve for one of the variable in either equation. Well, the easiest one to solve for is what? In which equation?
4y equals 2x plus 8.
Then you have fractions, right? Because you got to divide by 4. I don't like fractions.
X minus 2y equals negative 4.
Okay, solve for what?
X.
Solve for x. Jamie says solve for x in the top one. To solve for x, all you got to do is move that negative 2y to that side. And when you change side, you change sign. X equals what? 2y plus 4. Notice there's no fraction. A little bit easier. In step number 2, you want to go to the other equation now. In this case, the other equation is which one? Is the bottom one. And you're going to replace x with what? 2y plus 4. The expression that's equal to it. So go to my other equation, that's this one, the 4y, and replace x with 2y plus 4. Take the x out, put 2y plus 4 plus 8. That was step number 2. Step number 3, solve for the variable. In this equation, solve that equation for the variable. Let's solve it. 4y equals, when you multiply, what's 2 times 2y?
4y.
4y, what's 2 times 4?
8.
8. There's a plus, and there's the 8.
Combine like terms.
Combine like terms, I'll take that. This is a linear equation. If you want to solve it, you want all the y's on one side. So let me take that 4y now to this side. Change side, change sign. What's 4y minus 4y? What is it? Not y.
0.
0. 4 apples minus 4 apples. The apples are gone, right? 0. Equals 16. How many times you looked in a math book you saw 0 equals 16?
Never.
Never. So what does that mean? This problem has no solution. Why would a problem have no solution? What makes it have no solution?
Parallel lines.
Exactly. The lines must be parallel lines. So if you graph these lines, they are parallel. You know what? I missed this one. There was a minus here, wasn't it? Uh-oh, I didn't even see that minus. So I'll take the minus out. I missed it because I did the problem as a plus. I didn't even see that minus. I'll go back and redo it with the minus.
Oh crap.
Yep, I did not see that minus when I moved it here. There was a minus there. So I'm going to change it to a plus there. Because that would make that a minus 4. It changes the whole problem. I'll do it with the minus sign. Actually, it's going to be interesting with the minus sign. It's going to be a different solution. So let me do it with the minus sign now, and maybe I'll do it this time with the elimination method. I'll make it problem number 6 instead of 5. X minus 2y equals what? Negative 4. 4y equals 2x plus 8. I'm going to use, let's say, the elimination method. I need my other markers. I can see better with the other markers, but they're out of ink. If I'm going to solve this with the elimination method, I need to move x and y on the same side. So the first equation, x minus 2y equals negative 4. Move the 2x to this side, becomes what? Negative 2x plus 4y equals what? 8. Now, it's called elimination method. Why? Because when you add them, you're supposed to use what? What is supposed to happen when you add them?
Disappear.
One of the variables is supposed to disappear. Eliminate. Gone. Poof. Well, if I add them, x is not going to disappear. If I add them, y is not going to disappear. So, but if I multiply the top equation by what?
2.
By 2? Why'd you pick 2?
Because it's negative 2y.
Well, it's going to cancel both out. You'll see that. I just didn't know if you were thinking about the y or the x. Notice you're going to multiply everything by 2. That would be what? Negative 8. And this is negative 2x plus 4y equals the 8. Now let's add them. What happened to 2x minus 2x? Gone. What happened to negative 4y plus 4y? Gone. So on this side we have a 0. What is negative 8 plus 8? 0. This is a true statement. Always true. Always. What does that mean if it's always true?
Infinite.
You have an infinite solution. Infinite solution, that means what? It's really the same line.
You can just pick points on it forever.
Yep. So you can take one of the equation and write it down to let people know the graph for this one is also the graph for that one. 4y equals, no reason why I picked the second one. So the graph of this will also be the graph of that one. All the points on this line will also be all the points on the first line. Now, when you have a problem, you're trying to decide which method to use. I know some of you will have preference. This is always a popular way of doing it. More popular than substitution. But a lot of times, substitution actually will be probably quicker if you apply it. Like when? Let me try this example. X minus 2y equals to 7. The other one, y equals negative 11 minus x. And if you're trying to decide which, probably the best method to solve it, what do you think the answer to that here is?
Substitution.
Substitution.
Y.
They already did half the problem. They already solved it for y for you. So the first step is already done for you. So all I got to do now, go to this equation, take y out and replace it with what? Negative 11 minus x. What's minus 2 times a minus 11? Positive 22, right? Positive. Minus times a minus, that's a positive what? 2x equals what? 7. Solve this equation. Let's collect like terms. What's x plus 2x? 3x plus 22 equals what? 7. Linear equation again. Take the plus 22 to that side or subtract 22 from both sides. 3x equals what? 7 minus 22. What is 7 minus 22? Is that negative 15? And to solve for x, you're going to divide by 3. X equals what? Negative 5. Now again, you're trying to find a single point. That's not a point. To be a point, you need what? An x value and a y value. So we only have half of that. We have the x value. We don't know what the y value. So what do you do now? Take this equation, since you have y equal to, and replace x with negative 5. What's negative 11 minus a negative 5? Can I solve it for y? Y equals negative 11 plus 5, which is what? Negative 6. So now we got the y value, we got the x value. My solution is what? X is always first, y is always second. So in this case, give me a few minutes, I'm just recording here. In some cases, substitution might not be the best way. Elimination might be better. So let's take this example. 2x plus 5y equals negative 13. Negative 2x plus 6y equals negative 20. I can use substitution for this, but probably not the good choice. What's a better choice? Look at the problem. Elimination method. If I do the elimination method, why is that a better choice? Because the minute you add them, what happens? Cancels the x out. Gone. 6 and 5. 11y equals what? Negative. You're adding two negative numbers. Is that 33? And to solve for y, you got to divide by what? 11? What is y equal to? Negative 3. Again, once you have y, you need to find x. Or once you have x, you need to find y. Grab either equation. Which one you want to pick? Top one? Okay. Top one. No reason. Doesn't make a difference. Let y be minus 3. 2x plus 5 times a minus 3 equals negative 13. What's 5 times a negative 3? Is that negative 15? I'm going to solve it for x. Take the negative 15 to that side and it becomes what? Positive 15. What's negative 13 positive 15? Is that a 2? And x will have to be what? 1. X is 1. Again, be careful when you write your solution. Always x first, y second. 1 and -3. Last one, we'll do one more. Let's put a little twist in it. Six x minus 8y equals 36. 1.5x minus 2y equals 9. I probably will go with elimination method here, because just if I did the substitution method, I'm going to have fractions. So elimination method might be a better choice. And I'm not really a fan of decimal numbers like the x's. Maybe I'll start looking at the y's. I could cancel the y if I do what? Multiply the bottom one by what? 4. Perfect. Because you want to make sure this number matches that number. But it's not just 4 here. 4 won't do it. Why? Because you're going to have negative 8y minus 8y. Is that a 0? So you want that to be a plus, right? So I got to multiply it by maybe by negative 4. And let's see, the first equation, no change. 6x minus 8y equals what? 36. Negative 4 times 1.5, that's a negative 6. That's plus what? 8y equals, what's negative 4 times 9? Negative 36. Now let's add them. Gone and gone. 0 equals 0. You should always be thrilled if you get 0 equals 0 or 0 equals 5 or 4 equals 3. If you get a true or false statement, you just cut the work in half, because I don't have to continue with that. Normally you find x, then you're going to solve for y. This one says stop right here. What does that mean? We have an infinite solution. That's a true statement. I'm done. It's the same line.
So you can use any elimination, substitution.
Use it, graph.
Anyone you want for any.
If it doesn't say which method to use, even if it does say which method to use, who's watching you? So you really can use any one of them. They should give you the same answer. Some of you are going to find this is popular, but in some cases, again, you end up with, let me just throw one more. Let me see if I can spot one quickly. Here we go. Just be smart which one I want to do. Oh, I like this one for a reason. If I have this, and really you do not want to use elimination method for that one, because I'm already solving, I solved the problem for A for you. I gave you that. So substitution should be the first thing you want to be thinking about here. And substitution for this is take this equation, replace A with what? 2b minus 7 plus the 3b equals negative 2. What's 2b plus 3b? 5b minus the 7 equals negative 2. Take the minus 7 to the right side, becomes a plus 7. What is 7 minus 2? 5. What's b equal to? 1. Once you know what b is, can you find a? We know a equals 2 times b. b is 1 minus the 7. What's 2 times 1? 2 minus 7, which is what? Negative 5. And I like this question for color reasons. First, to show you substitution is a better choice here. The other one, how do you write your answer? Which one do you put first? Is it A first or B first? Which one?
A.
Why A?
A's first in the alphabet.
Exactly. You go by the alphabet. If it's M and N, M goes first, N goes second. It's always in alphabetical order. That's why X is always first, Y is always second. So when you write your answer to this, it's negative 5, comma 1. If you reverse that, they will mark it wrong. Alphabetical order. A comes before B. X comes before Y. M comes before N. C comes before D if we're using C and D. So you go alphabetical order. A is first, that's negative 5. B is second, that's a 1.